just re-released Conferences That Make a Difference, and we're really excited because a lot has changed in the event planning, in the conference planning world since, I don't know, before COVID. I mean, can you remember
Mhm.
before COVID? I don't remember any well, maybe a few online conferences, but they weren't all that common. We spent a lot of time back in the old days thinking about in-person conferences and the return on investment, and is it worth buying that plane ticket to go wherever? And then we had a few years, very intensive years, with online learning and online conferences. So now the landscape is much broader. The return on investment calculation is so different because
Yeah.
we've now experienced both kinds of conferences. And so I think that that's an important thing to think about as we're planning conferences. People are really thinking, is this worth traveling to wherever that is? And the difference, if we think about what is the kind of practical difference between an online and an in-person conference, it's that social connection,
Right.
right? I mean,
Mm.
I can do an online conference and learn a ton, but it's much harder to have that social connection. So I think we've become much more mindful of how we are building in that peer learning, building in that peer connection, that ability for people to stay in touch, either come to the conference together, which we've always been proponents of the team, but
Right.
then how do we keep them in touch after the conference?
Yeah.
I find I'm thinking a lot more about that now than I did 6 or 7 years ago. How about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. That's really interesting. Um, for me, it's pretty obvious, but still really consequential. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, of course, has existed for decades, but it hasn't been as accessible as it is now over the past 3, 4 years.
Mhm.
And organizations and individuals are finding really creative ways to benefit from artificial intelligence, whether it's in during the planning process and consolidating ideas and maybe even coming up with a theme or a conference name, whether it's participants sort of getting a better understanding of what the conference is all about. If it's a large conference, they're able to use artificial intelligence maybe to synthesize what might happen when they're at the conference, so they're well prepared for it. So yeah, and I was happy that we were able to add some really good discussions around benefiting from artificial intelligence in the conference planning process with this new edition.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to put on a conference. So if you can
Yeah,
get AI to kind of add a little extra muscle, why not?
exactly. And might I remind you, Nancy, we met at an online conference.
We did. And that was
Yes.
awesome. So
Oh
grateful
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.